Welcome back to A Faster Me. We're out here at CBR. The sun is starting to poke through, so that's a welcome sight after some rain on the way here. I was regretting my decision to be out here racing again in the rain, but we're here. Hi.
You guys are silly. Hey, so welcome back to A Faster Me.
Hey, how's it
this
going,
is
guys?
Jorge, PAA, and he's going to be doing the 4-5 in a second.
Here, let me take off this mask.
Yeah, take off
Hey,
that
what's up,
mask.
guys?
Yeah, so saying hi to all of my YouTube followers and all that
Hello,
good
everybody.
stuff.
Today, I guess I'm doing the category 4 and 5, and hopefully we do good today.
Yes, he's definitely going to come home with the win. All right, we're back with the women's category 4-5. This is CBR number 1. First time out here at this race, and yeah, let's get started.
It was a really fun course, fast. Definitely a different experience. Emily and I had a plan to kind of sit in for the race and see how we were the last lap, and then at the last minute after we're already there, Carolyn had the rain delay her plan, so she decided to join us. So that was great to have another racer in the race.
Well, I know you guys started off pretty hot here. It looks like one of those Zwift starts. You start off 400 or 500 watts, so yeah, the pace is actually pretty hot from the beginning.
It was a completely different experience than the Ontario race a couple weeks ago. The pace just was a lot faster, and
Well, it's also a different course too. Like Ontario has 7 turns, you know, some rights, some lefts, a little bit of an uphill, downhill, and this is pretty much one of your classic fast 4-corner crits with two inclines in it, basically like incline at the start finish and then one on the back straight, both of them I think reaching 3%.
I kind of struggled the whole race just to see where to position myself. I didn't know if I should be inside, outside. I didn't know what would give me the best advantage. I went back and forth.
Well, I know one thing that would give you an advantage is staying in the draft. You know, just a kind of spoiler alert, Ellen put down a lot of power this weekend. She put in a good effort, but she was always like slightly outside of the draft. She's in the draft right here. I don't know if that's Lisa or Jade, but yeah, she's in the draft a little bit here, and there's Lisa there. So, but she's still off to the right a little bit. You see a little swerve there. 2 riders almost touch, but she stays off like this most of the race into the wind.
Definitely not intentional. I thought I was trying to get in, but I was just a little bit, I guess it boils down to really a lack of experience. I'm still not experienced kind of navigating with riders and where to position myself on the course. But I'm not feeling bad right here. It feels decent. I'm kind of staying with the group. And I thought here, just staying on Jade's wheel would be nice. She was a good wheel to follow.
Yeah, I mean that's a good plan. I think you know, when the pace is kind of high, I know you guys are kind of yo-yoing a little bit with a high pace, and it slows down, then it's high pace. But you know, when the pace is kind of high, it's best to just save that energy and sit in. A lot of times, a lot of attacks and brakes will not get away when the pace is this hot.
Like I said, that was my plan, and I did pretty good executing it for the first half of the race.
Yeah, and Jade here from Major Motion, she's doing great. If you see like good riding, solid riding position too, she has a pretty low profile there, and she's not wasting too much energy. She can do a little bit better job of holding a little bit tighter wheel, because like right here, you guys are both putting in a pretty solid effort, and neither one of you were in anyone's draft. So luckily the front group slows down a little bit, and you guys are able to latch back on. So also, if you see the woman in yellow on the left side there, she's not actually a part of the race. She's like an instructor. So being that this is one of the beginning classes, she's out there just keeping everyone safe and giving little tips to a lot of the, you know, 4-5s on recovery, or to spin a little more, or just, you know, how to take turns, things like that. So, you know, it's kind of I don't know what to call it. You know, some people may say like, hey, that's a little unfair if she's giving someone tips. But I think this is one of the benefits of CBR is they do like the new rider school and things like that. And this that coach out there is just kind of monitoring everything and, you know, helping out where she can.
It was a little confusing at first, and I think some of the riders in the front were confused because I saw them kind of start to chase her at one point. It looked like she was doing an attack off the left, and I was second guessing myself, like, is she taking the fastest line? Should we be over there? And then at a certain point, I think it was after I put in an attack, she was telling me how to recover because I had been dropped at that point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, she's definitely not taking the fastest line, but when you're at her level, it doesn't matter what line she's taking. So, yeah, you see a second ago, you did a pretty good job of closing a gap, but then you didn't sit behind the wheel. Like here, you're losing a lot. I mean, you're using a lot of energy just kind of sitting off to the side. And even here, where you're kind of behind someone, but you're almost a bike length back, and you're not getting the full benefit of the draft here like you can. That was also an opportunity for you to move up when that rider moved up on the right side there. Yeah.
I'm sure you're right, and I know that the facts would be proven, but I was getting much more benefit than when you're out in the side by yourself. So I was doing much less watts just sitting there because the whole pace had slowed. So I think that was where I just felt comfortable. I felt like I was in the draft when really the pace had slowed.
Well, you in the draft now doing 400 and some watts. Yeah, trust me, you definitely want to be a little closer to the wheel. That 400 watts would turn into 300 watts, and every watt counts. As you know, we're coming to find out, you know, both of us at our races, like, you know, you get towards the end, and like here, definitely, I have no clue what you're doing out here. I don't know if you're trying to start your own Peloton or Gruppetto or what, but you're like a good 20 feet to the left here. So
we have jokes, I see here in our house after the race.
Yeah,
I think I'm very good at doing hard efforts off the front, and I'm also good at losing lots of places and losing the wheel. So I think experience in the middle is what I'm looking forward to gain in the next few races.
Yeah, just a little tip there too. You're riding right in the yellow line, going over some of those reflectors, and that's just something to be cautious of, especially on a day like this where it was raining and then not raining, stuff like that. You want to kind of avoid a lot of the paint lines and reflectors, things like that may cause a crash.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that we had here, and I don't know if this lap or not, but they threw a monkey wrench in the plans, and they ended up having 3 or 4 Preem laps, and that just made the pace real hot. So it gets really competitive here with those extra benefits thrown into the race. And I think this is one of them. They're coming up to a Preem lap here.
Yes, you will see Carolyn go by me, and she says, Preem? And there was some excitement in her voice, and right here I'm thinking, go ahead, go for it, Carolyn. I'm going to follow the plan and stay in the draft.
Yeah, Emily does a great job here. She doesn't let it excite her. She stays disciplined and stays in the draft, which was the plan, you know, just kind of save the energy for the last sprint. And yeah, I mean, those Preems really threw a wrench in everyone's plans. I think you guys really picked up the pace, and unfortunately it was you know, it was pretty difficult what they did. It was pretty evil what they did to you guys. I think they had 3 Preems out of the last 5 laps of the race, and that just makes it real hot.
Yeah, this one that Carolyn, I believe she wins this first Preem, and then there's 1 lap without it, and then they did back-to-back.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can see how stretched out it is. I mean, you guys are flying high watts. You're doing 300-400 watts, and yeah, I mean, it's really not sustainable. So a lot of people have an opportunity or have a good chance of popping right here. And same thing here, benefit of the draft. You got to get in there. You got to, you know, all these girls are going by you and they're drafting each other. And just a second ago, you're doing 450 watts. So definitely try to, you know, preserve as much energy as possible. I see that's, I think it's Lisa to your right here. Yeah, I think that's Lisa to your right. She did a good job too. I think this is only her second race, if I'm not mistaken. And that's her teammate Jade moving up. Jade did an awesome job this week. She's going for a Preem here also, which she only went for one. But yeah, she's flying. She has a really strong sprint. And yeah, it's just, again, those Preems just stretched everything out and put everyone in the hurt locker. So we'll try to see the results of this Preem in a second from a different perspective. I think she wins the race. That young lady just passing there, I think she's actually the race winner.
Let's go!
Who's that? Carolyn? Let's go, Carolyn! Woo!
Looks like we missed out on the volume there a little bit, but maybe that's just in editing mode, so forgive me, I'm not the editor, but I was feeling pretty comfortable here. Got back on, didn't let the Preem kill me, was still feeling comfortable.
Yeah, no, it's a good job just sitting in the draft, not getting too excited about the Preem, just sticking to your game plan. Here you can tighten up a little bit more, which you're doing, but I think it's because people are coasting. But as they're coasting here, that'll be a good chance for you to move up to a better position if you can. And the young lady there with the green helmet, man, she does a great job. She is like an expert at following wheels. I mean, I wish I had her skill in following wheels, and I know she's a smaller, younger rider, but if you see the way she works to hold a wheel, like, we can all learn from that. She is an amazing wheel holder, and yeah, when I grow up, I want to be able to hold a wheel like she does. So.
And I'm not sure what happened to me is I passed the next start-finish line, and I hear that there's another Preem for some socks. So I decide at a certain point, I'm not sure when, lost my discipline, and you're gonna see me put in a much harder effort than I had anticipated putting in.
Yeah, Emily also is doing a great job. She's been hovering right here around the top 8, and if you see, she's pretty patient, just sitting behind wheels, and you're sitting off to the side again here, and you're doing 212, 215 watts, and I bet if you just move over into the pace line there, you're probably going to only do about 150 watts. Look at Emily. Sometimes she's soft pedaling, coasting, things like that, and you're doing a good 215 watts just riding off to the side here. And there's the young lady I was talking about in the green helmet, and look, she's in there. She's fighting with the big girls, and she does not give up a wheel. Like, she's awesome at just sucking that wheel and at all costs, which is why she does a great job. Has good finishes.
Another Preem?
Yeah, so here it's starting to stretch out.
Another Preem.
Bell's ringing for the 4 socks.
Socks, huh?
Yeah, and I still was thinking sit in at this point, and I just don't know what happened in my mind. I lost discipline. I don't know if I've been feeling the wind too much and putting down too much power, but yeah, and around the next turn, I'm gonna just test it out. I'm not sure why I like to just test things out in brand new races, but I did.
Well, I'll translate that for you guys and do a little I'll do a little impression here of Ellen. So we love buying cycling clothes. So we were online all the time getting new kits and things like that. And so my impression of Ellen would be like, wait a minute, what'd they say? Socks? Honey, hold the kids. I'll be back. I'm about to spend 700 watts right now. I'm about to spend 700 watts on these socks. And there she goes, right there. You know, we looked at her power at the end of the race, and it's 720 watts here on this sprint.
Don't exaggerate. 719.
Oh, I'm sorry, 719. I just rounded it up for taxes. Taxes on those socks. Now look at this dig here she's doing. Look at this dig. She's still at 400 plus watts, going uphill, just pouring it on. And
I was trying to do a hard effort to get a gap. That's what I was doing.
yeah, well, and here's the apex of that corner. Why don't you cut that in there? You know, get that apex right, and you know, you protect your your effort that you just put in. But you know, you went wide here, and there's your teammate Carolyn. And so yeah, you know, it wasn't all for naught. You think Carolyn has the Preem, and she gets pipped at the line right there by the one of the Scott young ladies.
Carolyn, again, she's on our team. She might win it. Oh, yeah, she won it. Go, Carolyn, go, go. Oh, no, she didn't. Oh, no, she didn't. Oh!
I'm glad I didn't find that out till after the race because I was still feeling pretty decent about my effort, thinking my teammate won the Preem, so it felt partially successful. And thinking of maybe future races, if I were to do a hard effort and she were to, you know, take the win, that would feel like a victory. But after the race, it was pretty disappointing that my effort was really for naught.
Well, you know what? Honestly, though, I'm really impressed with that effort because that was a pretty hard dig. I mean, if you would have saved that for the last, you know, the sprint to the line at the end, that would be incredible. That would have been incredible.
And here you can see the, I don't know.
Like a marshal. She's like a
Yes.
marshal or a coach.
Yes, she's saying you can recover, put it in a couple harder gears on the downhill, you can recover. Maybe she wasn't talking to me, but I felt like it was directly to me because of the effort I'd put in, and I was a little bit off the back. But here I'm able to catch back on. The group had slowed down, and I'm able to recover. So my fitness is pretty good. My coach has been working hard, so felt okay.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, it is pretty awesome because coming into this race, Ellen thought she had a like a max heart rate of like 170 something, and she hit just below 190. She was at 189 on that effort, and I don't know, we're only 45 seconds later, 30 seconds later, and she's already down to 160. So yeah, no, that's great recovery. It was a great effort. I'm not gonna lie, if I would do that effort in my races, I would never recover. Yeah, the pace may not slow down like yours did, but there's no way I'm gonna sprint for 30, 40 seconds in the middle of a race all out like that without being dropped. Most likely I'd be dropped after that.
Yeah, it was a little deceiving because I felt like I was pretty good and recovered, but come to the last lap, I definitely, I was toast.
Yeah, well, it's a combination also. I mean, it's okay to do that attack that you did. I mean, yeah, you went a little bit early. If you're trying to get a Preem, you went probably, I don't know, 400 yards too early or something, 400 meters too early. But honestly, it all adds up. Like these efforts here, sitting in the wind, that adds up. The efforts earlier when you're off to the right or the left, that adds up. Carolyn got her revenge right there because she was able to beat Jade to the line. Jade almost had a Preem, and Carolyn came back and beat her at the line there.
Yeah, that's some great efforts by Carolyn to go for all those Preems and get, 2 out of 3 of them?
Yeah, I believe she got 2 out of 3.
And one of them, she won the entrance fee, I think, to Tour de Marietta, so that's exciting.
Yeah, that's definitely a great prize. The first one was, I want to say it was a case of Monster energy drinks, Second was a few pair of socks. Okay, let's move on from that. And
The last one was the monster, because I heard that one when I was not putting in the effort, but I didn't hear the first one. So that
the first one was a case for
Marietta
sure.
one.
No, the first one was a case for sure. They just may have done it more than once. Sometimes they had a double Preem at one point as well. So sometimes there's two things up for offer, or they'd do two Preems in a row with the same prize.
And when you pass that start-finish line and you hear bits and pieces, they could have been talking about the first lap was the monster, and I just heard monster, and that's what I'm thinking. But
and not only that, for those of you who don't know what a Preem is, it's spelled prime, pronounced Preem, but basically it's a lap where whoever crosses the finish line first, no matter what place you come in overall in the race, all you have to do is cross the finish line first on that lap, and you get whatever prize is up for grab. Sometimes it's money, sometimes it's socks, it could be a helmet or a jersey or something, anything that someone donates basically to the race. Most of the time it's from one of the sponsors.
this race was pretty exciting, just even lining up. They were talking about a lot of the women, even talking about Felicia, who didn't make it to the race as they were out of town this weekend, but just talking about her and her win at Ontario. So it was pretty exciting to kind of hear. They even mentioned my name, saying I had a great showing at Marietta, which I'm not sure if they were trying to joke or not, because I did get dropped and lapped in both races at Marietta. So
yeah, they have a sense of humor too.
So it felt nice to be mentioned, but
yeah. And just to clarify, Felicia's with PRT, that's Paddock Racing, and she won the Ontario race earlier this year. So just saying hi, give you a shout out. Here's Emily again. You're behind the teammate, and Emily did a great job. She ended up saving a lot of energy. She had some energy at the end of the race for the sprint, and she ended up taking 5th place, I believe. Which was our highest finish out of the ladies. Ellen and Carolyn burned a little energy through the race going for those Preems. It was fun, but yeah, it was a great job. All of you guys did a great job racing, and Emily stuck to her game plan and ended up getting the best finish. But Carolyn was right behind her with 6th place.
yeah, I'm really proud of Emily, just knowing she wasn't really feeling the race at all, had a lot of kind of work school fatigue, just mentally. So I think her coming out, sticking to the game plan, I'm just really proud of her. Wish I could have followed suit a little closer.
Definitely. Right there, I heard your brakes, and you probably didn't need to get on your brakes, especially being that that's your teammate there. Just give her a little communication, let her know that you're on the inside, and you have someone that's pretty much guaranteed to give you room to make that turn there.
Good advice. It was definitely a little, like I said, just uncertain. The corners felt pretty easy, whether it was inside or outside, but just still not kind of knowing other riders and not knowing how tight to go or go inside somebody. Makes me a little nervous still.
Oh, for sure. I mean, probably takes a long time before you're really comfortable out there, especially since you don't do a lot of competitive group rides or anything else. So yeah, no, it's understandable. And like I said, I think overall it's a great effort and another good finish. Yeah, there's not much you can do. You're obviously going to learn from every experience that you have, and hopefully we'll improve, each race. I think you guys are coming into the last lap here. It's just so impressed with a lot of these younger riders, just the efforts that they put in, and it's great to be young. No fear, just going hard, and here we are going into the last lap, and again, you guys are flying. This is a pretty fast crit.
And here I'm thinking of, I'm in the middle, and riders are on either side of me. I'm thinking, what do? I don't want to be in the middle of everything coming up to the sprint. Like I just don't really know how to navigate around riders. Pretty soon that won't be a issue, as I'll be off the back, won't have to navigate around too many people at all.
I wouldn't call it off the back. I mean, you guys just split here. The peloton just split into 2 groups, and you're with the second group.
I mean off the back of the front.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
That's what I meant.
Yeah, because I mean, you ended up getting 12th place, and 12th place is not far off the back. So here again, though, with the pace this hot, if you look, there's a string of people in a line trying to catch, and you're off to the right. Even that spending 3 seconds behind the young lady there with the orange bike, it saves energy. Your draft, you're going to go a little faster. You're going to save a little watts there. Same thing here. Instead of going to the left of this young lady, start off going straight at her wheel or wherever you can feel the draft a little bit, and follow just for a second. If you want to pass her, then move over, once you get a little bit closer to her wheel. But definitely take advantage of the draft if you can.
What I should have done was stayed right behind her and then maybe tried to beat her at the line. But instead I go by and she decides she's not going to let me come in front of her, and she beats me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great job too. That's Lisa there, and it's a great job. I mean, no matter where you're at in the race, it's always good to just say, okay, I'm going to beat the group that I'm with or the person that I'm next to, and just keep that kind of racing spirit, racing mentality.
Yeah, that's what I thought I was doing too, was beating her. She looked real tired, but she gave a very nice effort, and I just didn't have anything to do another effort. So great job, Lisa.
Yes, it was because of those 700-watt socks you were going after. Yeah, I think that was a little bit out of your price range. No, another great finish though. Definitely proud of you, putting in the good effort, and you're out there racing your bike. That's awesome.
And just to close it off, just thanks for everyone who's watching, and Lisa, my biggest fan, I know you'll make it to the end.